Alrighty. Let me move my shit back. So we're gonna play Fallout 3, and I had a couple videos I wanted to listen to. I'll probably like wait to play the video for a second. Wait to play the video in a second, because I like just announced I was going live. So, wait a second. Why is it automatically? It always starts off, my stream always default starts at private, so that's really cool. And I forget to undo it sometimes, and I don't know how to make it not do that automatically, but whatever. I had like a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about. I don't know why the worst nightmares happen to me when I'm about to fucking wake up. It's never like in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. you wake up in a cold sweat. Like that never really happens to me, ever. It's always like right when I'm getting ready to wake up. It's just like someone you love, something horrible happening to them, something awful happening to your pet or whatever, and it's just like, and I got 2 of them like back to back the other day. It was really weird. But anyways. Oh god, I'm just trying to paste the fucking link. There we go. Embarrassing attempt to do a TikTok dance. Cause like otherwise my default for like a TikTok is to just like pose. I want to get better at dancing. I was, a few months ago, I don't know if I ever told this story. I might have told it on Fansly, but there was like a local dance class, like contemporary hip hop, and I ended up like being in the frame for like someone's video and like not realizing it until it was too late, and then I was just like, oh, I was just awkwardly standing there while they were trying to like film their friend. So I basically like ruined the video. Anyways. But I think I've gotten over my anxiety enough that I can go back to, I don't know, they were really crowded though. There was no fucking space to move around. And like, I'm not necessarily there to make friends or anything like that, but it's just like high school and like early college girls, and it's just like, damn. Like, not trying to be, I'm not like the other girls, but like I cannot relate to a lot of these girls. They seem very mean for no reason, but whatever. What else? I was able to get some filming done. Like, I've just been feeling awful, like health-wise. It's, this time of year usually kind of fucking sucks, but you can see I'm breaking out, so I have to awkwardly put a pimple patch there. It looks like I have a black bean stuck to my face, pretty much, from far away. Yeah, but no, since Fallout came back, I've been in a big Fallout mood, so. Also, this is autofocusing, and I don't want to do that. Let me take care of that really quick. I think otherwise it's fine. Dude, what the fuck? Getting emails from random dudes who think that's the way for them to message me is very interesting. Anyways. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? I've got like no snacks in the fucking house. All I have is just popcorn that I can pop myself. And I already had like a lot of that last night, so I don't want to have that again. So I've got my boyfriend put me on these. They're really good. They're almost as good as the there's another flavor of Bugles that are like caramel flavored or some shit. They're so fucking good. Like, they're kind of like Butterfingers, where they've got that like brittle, like sugary stuff. It's really good. Anyways, what am I doing? Yeah, no, it was this one. I just realized I won't be able to listen to... This is why I need a second fucking monitor, dude. I guess it'll just be... Shit, now I don't know. And it's not sized properly, of course it's not. What if... Hold on a second. Maybe I can sign it. Just put it back on the webcam. So it's fine. Oh my god. Yeah, recovery email, whatever the fuck. Don't care. Do not care. Hell yeah. I now have access to my other YouTube where I've saved stuff. View playlist, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Can you not show? Can't show chat on the screen, which, I mean, it's not gonna matter anyways because I'm gonna be switching to the other window. I need a new monitor. Okay, I'm writing it down. Otherwise I'll forget. Also, I need to decide what phone I'm gonna get once we reach the goal on my other streaming platforms, because that's what I'm doing, is taking any earnings from like Fansly or Chatterbait, and that'll go towards the new phone goal. So yeah, so I'm trying to stream more, partly for that reason. Okay, new monitor, decide new phone. Because I still don't know if I want to get a Google Pixel, but I don't want to learn a new UI. Honestly, I kind of like Samsung, like Android Samsung specifically. So I started watching Kidology on Fansly, this one YouTube's most hated age gap influencer, but I think we're gonna finish that there just to make sense. I still haven't uploaded the VOD for that one, so I'm so fucking behind on shit. So we'll finish that there, but there's this other one. Kidology put out a video on this guy, Ryan Boundless, or A Boundless Journey on YouTube, and he got the video falsely copyright claimed, so it was gone for a while, and I thought maybe it wasn't going to come back, but it finally came back, and I've been waiting for it. So let me get situated in Fallout first and know what we're doing. I like to sometimes make like D&D or like games like this. I can't think of the Bethesda games. Like, I like to have a character that's already existing in mind to like frame their skills around, which, I mean, kind of everyone does that. But I'm lazy, so I like to use already existing characters, not like my own OC necessarily. So I'm using Lisbeth Salander, and I hate using AI, but sometimes it is kind of interesting, and so I asked, but it gave me basically the answer roughly that I had for the special stats for Lisbeth Salander from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I love the books and kind of the movies, the American ones. Kind of bitter in a way. This shift tab bullshit is gonna drive me insane. So, can it stop doing this? I'm just gonna turn my mouse off and see if that works. I think that's actually gonna work.
Hey, work.
Got a problem?
Work.
A traveler, eh?
No.
Cool. So my shit's fucking up. This is awesome. My controller's confused as fuck and keeps doing computer controls like my volume. So love hyping up that I'm gonna do something and then it doesn't work. It's so much fun. Fuck. Am I gonna have to play Mega Bonk instead? All I did was just switch to Xbox 360 for settings. Am I just supposed to let it auto connect? Didn't have this problem before whatsoever.
Work. Come on,
Traveler, eh?
Goddamn radio.
Yes, I can use all the buttons as intended. As it should be. Okay. Also, it likes to freak out when I alt-tab away, so... I don't know. I don't want it to be part of a playlist. So that way it's not like skipping to the next one at the end. I gotta... Alright. So we're in Megaton right now. Just for reference, I basically just started. Oh, let me... That goes in the chat, and then the description. Edit, there we go. Cool. Alright, we're playing that video. In case you want to sync it up, go leave a like on the original video. But yeah. 3, 2, 1, play.
What did you say to a guy who's just, you know, not popular with women and basically a loser, you know? No money.
Day 286 of living in my car. I'm 50 years old.
No social skills. Don't touch the camera. Woman! Woman! Can't get a woman. What if I said I want to get you pregnant?
It's like he's trying to be satirical, but it's just not working, and so he just ends up looking like he's
The time's
actually
gonna
that
come when I am
dumb.
financially comfortable and I can have a 20 or a 30-year-old girlfriend when I'm 60 and give us a comfortable life and have a son or a daughter.
Do you like this white chocolate? Did you have a good one? Good session?
It was nice.
How was it for you, baby? How was it? How was tonight?
People like to
Was
say
it
that
magical?
guys like
Hi,
this are
fam.
actually gay in disguise, and that can be true sometimes.
I
But
feel sleepy.
The correct answer is satisfied.
I pretty much just summarize what Japanese girls are all about. Pretty much just shopping and eating cake. That pretty much just sums them up right there. In Africa, for example, I would meet girls who were just like on the princess level. And pretty soon I understood that if I wasn't going to spend money on them, they weren't going to be around, which is okay. It's like, okay, you're taking your presence away from me, but there's like 1,000 more girls I have a selection of. Some people think that when I'm with a beautiful woman that I paid her, I'm holding her hostage, or I have given her drugs.
Yes,
I
it does appear
specifically
that
like
way.
younger women, no older than 25. And you know, a 25-year-old girl, she's just getting started in life. I wouldn't expect her to be able to pull her share financially. I would expect to be able to do that, and I can't do that right now.
The reason why I'm a boss is because I worked for it. Plain and simple. Are you attracted to me?
Just when I'd all but given up hope. My
See? I just
dear
cut the boring
girl.
questions out. Get to the important
Very
questions.
happy to make your acquaintance.
I don't remember any of this. I played
Mr.
Fallout.
Once upon a time, in a
when
land
it
not
came
so
out.
far away, lived a man called Ryan. Discontented with a life in the US, he yeeted off to Japan with nothing but a few suitcases, his television, and a dream to make it in the ruthless, cutthroat world of J-vlogging. J-vloggers truly made it big on YouTube during the 2010s, and Ryan was no exception. He provided us mere small-minded Westerners with a particularly raw and honest view into the harsh realities of
As
life
you
in
wish.
Japan.
I
I'm
live my
looking to
everyday
employ
life
an
here. It's not
individual
like I
with
wake
no
up
ties
every
to
morning and be like,
Megaton.
oh yeah, I'm in Japan.
Megaton is
I wake up every
obsolete.
morning and be like, God
the
damn,
last
I'm in
vestige of a
Japan.
cobbled, desperate past.
How am I going to survive
It
another
makes
day? Mentally.
Go away.
I mean, this place is like a freaking prison.
Despite living in a
Yeah, I
prison,
know, but
Ryan had a
you have to
loving
work,
and
and it seems
devoted
like he doesn't
long-term
really work.
girlfriend. He had various jobs as an English teacher, as well as his oddly successful YouTube channel and many viral vlogs. In fact, his life in Japan allowed him to save enough money to suddenly give it all up in pursuit of the infamous passport bro lifestyle. And if anything, this video is a cautionary tale of how you can go from a retired 40-year-old spending every night with a different
hear these
woman to a
passport bros
50-something-year-old
sometimes.
spending every night taking
And
a
it's kind
dump
of like-
in your car before beginning your Uber shift.
Why would you take a shit in your car?
This, brethren, is what can happen if you, like Ryan, delude yourself into believing that you are truly irresistible to woman. Now, in my lesbian line of work, there is only one woman that I am irresistible
you're
to.
creating a
Actually, like
situationship
Ryan,
for
I just
yourself.
delude
Like,
myself into
arranged
thinking she
marriage
loves
is
me
like the
back.
ultimate
I am obsessed with my
situationship.
cat, if you can't tell. Our relationship is the perfect
Just giving me the
example of
vibes of, like,
unrequited love
reading
that we'll be
Romeo
diving
and
into
Juliet
today.
and the
And
old guy
because
that
I
is
would take the sword for my
Juliet's
cat,
best
I made
friend,
it a
just like,
priority
oh.
to give her the best life possible, which inevitably includes giving her the best food possible. And that is where the wonderful sponsor of today's video, Catkin, comes into the picture. Now, my little sunbeam has always had
I'm merely a
digestive
recruiter.
issues, smelly poops,
yeah.
The
inconsistent
undetonated
pooping,
atomic
demanding
bomb for
more
which
food right
this
after
town is
she's
named is
eaten,
still
and
very
suffering the
muddy.
consequences of
I
those
have in my
very,
possession
very adorable
a
demands.
fusion
It was always
pulse
a most dark
charge.
time of day when
Once
that little
rigged
box
to the
needed
bomb,
cleaning
it will be
out. And so I did some
detonated by
sleuthing
you.
into what was actually in my cat's food. And although many of the leading cat food brands say their meals are full of nutrients and real meat, most are actually just full of preservatives, fillers, and meat derivatives. We've all seen what highly processed foods are doing to our bodies, so I cannot imagine what harm they're doing to the bodies of our feline friends. And that is where Catkin came
that's
in to make me
why.
hashtag Cat Mother of the Year. Thank you.
Unless
Thank you. Unlike your regular cat food, Catkin is 100% real meat. That that is
that is
100% fresh meat and fish that's crafted to include a complete vitamin mix for your cat. Catkin recipes contain absolutely no cheap offcuts, fillers, grains, or sugars, and all these delectable recipes have been crafted by Catkin's own board-certified vet nutritionist. And it is so noticeable how full of nutrients and freshness Catkin recipes are. My cat instantly took to these meals. Catkin has crafted 7 delicious recipes that she absolutely adores and cannot get enough of. And importantly, since switching her onto Catkin, her poops have been so firm and so not smelly that cleaning her litter box is a breeze now. I bet Ryan can't say the same. And I can tell how much better she must feel being regular, and importantly for her, being able to get in and out of that litter box like a shot. She zooms around more, sleeps peacefully, and just seems so much happier eating her meals. What I especially love about Catkin is that all their recipes are perfectly portioned to your cat. That is, to their age, their weight, their activity level, and their body. So your cat is actually getting the right portion size for them. My cat... Sorry, I just realized that I never call my cat by her name, like... ever. I've probably only called her Maple 20 odd times in her entire life. I wonder what she would call me. It can't be good. My cat is an indoor cat. She sleeps about 16 hours a day and she plays ferociously. And I really appreciate how Catkin uses all this personal information and data about my cat to formulate her perfect recipes and meals. So, if you're ready to transform your cat's meal times, use my unique link down in the description box or scanning my QR code. And you will get an incredible full 50% off your first Catkin trial box. Let me repeat, that's an incredible astronomical 50% off your first trial box using my link down below or scanning my QR code. Thank you so very much to Catkin for helping Maple's gut on its journey to finally being its fullest, happiest self. Her and I are both eternally grateful. And please let me know your cat's names down below. I am so curious, and I think it may lighten the mood when it comes to diving into the question, who is Ryan Boundless?
This is the beginning of my story about how I got to
pleasure.
Japan, and it's actually gets more interesting, and I'll talk about that in later stories.
Ryan is a 50-year-old man who, in 2011, started his first YouTube channel. Not much is known about his life before this, aside from evidence that he made at least one not safe for work video that made it to a very popular adult website. Ryan has alluded to this, saying that he sometimes had to sell his soul, his body, and his good looks in order to get to where he is in life.
I had to sell my soul. I had to sell my handsome looks. Sometimes I didn't want to. But again, you know, try not to mix work and pleasure, but sometimes even my students, even my coworkers wanted a piece of this, you know?
It was in his early 20s that one day, walking down the street in January of 1991, he saw the most beautiful Japanese woman he had ever seen. After getting her number, they saw each other a few times before she went back home to Japan. Fast forward 8 months, and a 24-year-old Ryan had packed all his meager belongings, including a television, left his job as a cab driver, and moved all the way to Japan after a woman that he'd only met a couple of times. This is something I see a lot with passport bros. They are the male equivalent of the kinds of women who center men but are in complete denial about this. Ryan's entire worldview is orbited around women, which is fascinating considering he knows so little about them. It was in Japan that he decided to become an ESL teacher and, importantly, started his YouTube channel. Now, in total, Ryan would spend over 19 years of his life in Japan, and this was during a time on YouTube where J-vlogging had become a rather major phenomenon. If you don't know, J-vloggers are
I'm gonna pause real quick. Basically, like, I've said this before, where it's like I guess you could say like misogynist dudes who like have weird shit going on mentally. Like, they remind me a lot of like feminists who date like the worst fucking dudes possible, and it's like, are you trying to make like some kind of self-fulfilling prophecy that all men are trash because all the men you date are trash? Like, why are you hurting yourself in this way? I don't understand. But yeah.
especially in the 2010s, were the highest tier of e-celebrity. These were mainly white Americans and Europeans who moved to Japan on a work visa and vlogged about their daily lives as expats. Their coverage of Japan was universally positive because, importantly, their followers would typically have a somewhat idealistic view of Japanese life, culture, and particularly of Japanese women. Basically, I would say that Japan was the South Korea of the 2010s. It was exerting a soft power that was making a lot of J-vloggers very, very successful on YouTube. During his 19 years in Japan, Ryan would only visit the United States a total of 4 times. He is very critical of America and believes Americans to be small-minded when it comes to understanding the world around them. As such, he doesn't feel American or a part of American life anymore.
All these Americans, like, they think America is the greatest freaking country in the world, and they're so national centric, and you know, they think that the world revolves around them. I don't know. I kind of see, you know, they come off as small-minded.
Ryan's vlogs were absolutely nothing fancy, and yet there was something unique about him, which made it difficult to look away. Unlike his fellow J-vloggers, Ryan's objective wasn't to sell Japan to them. In fact, his entire brand and mission was to essentially let the world know that Japan was a horrible place for especially white men like himself to settle down in. Sure, go and visit for a few weeks, but don't ever think of living there, especially if you are a white male.
You gotta find your own happiness here if you're gonna be here long term. Some people can do that. I think the most critical element in doing that, after you go through all the sex, all the money, all the partying, all the superficial, oh, let's do Japanese English language exchange, after you get through all that bullshit, you know, that might last you a good 4 or 5 years. You can ride that wave, but after that you're just going to be left with emptiness.
Well, Moriarty
you
thinks
know,
he is.
being treated like a
Sims
second-class
is the law
citizen,
around here, and
not
everyone
having
knows
your
it.
existence acknowledged, being looked over, not being an equal person in the eyes of the majority
Damn it.
here.
Who told you?
It's very emotionally
mean,
draining and
I
spiritually
had no idea
crushing.
what you're talking
Basically,
about.
Ryan was in a constant battle with so-called weeaboos, as well as the population of Japan itself, at least in his mind.
But if you can just imagine for
Especially
a
the old
second
ones.
that it might not be as
Like
good as you
Oblivion
think
and
it
Fallout
is,
3.
if there's a chance that I can help one weeaboo, then I want to do that.
This battle was made worse by the fact that rather than simply leave,
I can hook
he
you up.
insisted on staying
solid
and
chem dealer
cementing
is hard to
his
find,
misery.
Daddy.
And it would
I
soon
can
become
only sell to
apparent
you
to
when my
his
shift at the
followers
lantern
that
is
it
over.
didn't really matter
Meet me
where
up at the
Ryan
water
was in the
treatment
world.
plant if you need
Something was
something.
always wrong with the local population, or the fact that he was the only white guy in the room.
When I think about it,
Well,
it's almost
this,
overwhelming. You
this,
know, I
and
live
that.
here day by day,
keep-
but I mean, I really am a
Look,
alien here.
keep your
That's how I
bullshit
feel.
judgments
It's
to
like,
yourself, man.
yeah, you have your own
Just
little
don't tell Jenny or
daily
Andy,
routine,
and we'll
and
be
you
fine.
know the places you go, and there's the people you can talk to in English if you can't speak Thai. But you go outside that little circle, and you're lost. You know, you're lost as a foreigner.
Why will men travel the world instead of going to therapy?
got-
Why?
you
Why?
should know
I'm
the
getting ahead of
language of
myself.
the
Now,
place
when
you're
Ryan
going
moved to
to.
Japan in his 20s, he had
Unless
absolutely
you're, like,
no savings. However, on reflection, he would claim that he'd moved to
countries
Japan
like
not so
Europe,
much
you can
after a
get away
woman,
with
in as much in pursuit of the funds to retire by the age of 40. This all had to do with him reading the best-selling self-help book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which changed his mindset on money forever. In the US, he'd felt caught up in the 9-to-5 grind, which allowed him nothing more than a vacation, which he'd immediately blow all his savings on. After reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, Ryan claims to have started maximizing his streams of income, and by 2011 he would have 4 jobs in Japan. He worked part-time on the weekends, started his own business tutoring English, worked part-time as an English teacher, and started his career as a J-vlogger. Now, as a result of his multiple
Yeah.
streams of income, he claimed that he was able to save thousands of dollars a month by the age of 40, and this was something he prided himself on.
I was saving thousands and thousands of dollars every month, and I started when I was 30, and I'm 41 now.
Prices
So
change?
because I was able to live frugally, and I never bought things that I couldn't afford,
I didn't have any debt, any loans. You know, I regret that I didn't buy property, but at the same time I had all this cash coming in and I was just saving and saving. And then I think in 2008, 2009, I started getting into investing. So I had large sums of money and I started investing my money for long-term investments.
Come back anytime.
And I was just, yeah, like going back to that book, Rich Dad,
Hey,
Poor
I'm
Dad.
not much of a mudslinger.
I was employing those concepts.
As I said, his ultimate goal was to retire in his early 40s, and this was something that, according to him, seemed incredibly feasible when pretty much overnight his YouTube channel started to go viral. Now, looking at and listening to Ryan, you may be wondering how on earth this monotoned stud popped off on YouTube, especially in a niche of content dominated by teen girls and women. He doesn't have a natural charisma. Well, firstly, as I mentioned, J-vlogging was huge during the 2010s, and Ryan was an anomaly in this genre of content. It soon became apparent that he was pretty much the only J-vlogger at the time who hated living in Japan, and he made sure that everybody online knew it. It was like something you couldn't look away from out of a morbid sense of curiosity. Secondly, a lot of Ryan's dislike of Japan stemmed from his growing dislike of Japanese people. He clearly saw himself as the antithesis of everything he disliked about them, and as such, he attracted a following of stans and haters who either agreed with him or wanted to virtually destroy him. Unlike Ryan, Japanese people obey road signs, and that, as a result, makes them robots.
Look how everybody waits here. There's not a single car, but they all just wait like obedient robots.
Unlike Ryan, Japanese people aren't friendly.
Because I can say that, yeah, Japanese people are very considerate and polite, but are they genuinely friendly?
Staying out of
No,
trouble,
I don't think
hope.
so. No, just as a whole.
Do you think that Ryan would therefore have wanted to be friendly or would have wanted to hang out with Japanese people if he's so friendly?
Hey guys, I'm just walking around here
said
tonight
what?
and
Oh, I never
it's
did
pretty
like to
crowded,
look
lots of people being loud and drunk and obnoxious. Here's a big group of guys I would not want to hang out with.
I guess not.
Good
He
point.
also knows everything about
Come with me.
Japanese women who don't do anything except shop and eat cake.
Yeah, you can just see the tons of girls out here just because they love shopping, they love coming to town and walking around and window shopping and chatting and going to eat cake. Like that's pretty much, I pretty much just summarized what Japanese girls are all about. Pretty much just shopping and eating cake. That pretty much just sums them up right there. Like if you want to make a Japanese girl happy, like tell her that you want to go shopping and then go and eat some cake, some chocolate cake together. Like she'll probably just have an orgasm right there as soon as you say that.
Now, if I'm 40 and say something as wildly degrading and generalizing as this, please just make it quick. What made this worse was that the woman Ryan was living with in Japan was a woman who we will call Rosie. And Rosie was, not even speaking about looks but personality alone, way out of Ryan's league. She was everything that Ryan seemed to believe Japanese people weren't. She was overly friendly, she thought for herself, she wanted to hang out with him even though she was way out of his league.
Let me call over so you can get an idea of the size. Come here.
Yes, this is a grown man whistling at his girlfriend like she's a dog. And here is yet another reason in my list of why it's cool to be single these days, folks. Rosie pretty much waited on Ryan hand and foot while also working a strenuous, demanding job as the breadwinner of their household.
We worked a 17-hour shift and again stayed up all day and she cooked us a great Japanese style dinner.
Mind you, in this instance, Ryan spent his day walking around their city, vlogging about how much he hates working in Japan. On this particular instance, he'd gotten a pretty good job offer teaching English. However, the position would require him being given a teaching assistant, which Ryan was just not having.
Well, guess what? Homie, don't play that. I don't do Japanese language assistant teachers. Why? Because it's demeaning. It undermines the authority and equality that you should have as a teacher. Fuck you, Japan. Read my lips loud and clear. I do not dance on top of grinder organs for peanuts.
This really symbolizes what is probably Ryan's most notable character trait, which is his pride. A lot of Ryan's vlogs suggest that he thinks that he's better than everyone. For instance, he's convinced that women find him irresistible.
Some people think that when I'm with a beautiful woman, that I paid her, am holding her hostage, or I have given her drugs because, look, some guys are so insecure. Some weeaboos, not some weeaboos, all weeaboos. They're so insecure, they just cannot imagine a guy like me could get a beautiful woman like you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to clarify things. And how could you not come back to this?
Oh, that really turned me on, and apparently I'm not the only one. According to him, even his students in Japan wanted a piece of him.
Try not to mix work and pleasure, but sometimes even my students,
You're trying to blow it up.
even my coworkers
lost your
wanted a piece of
goddamn
this,
mind.
you know? And they knew I was second at ice.
Okay, Ryan's
I'm
life in
afraid there's
Japan
been a
can pretty much be summed up as a car wreck. It was pretty obvious to many people that even when Ryan was in a long-term relationship with Rosie and living a rather stable, conventional life in Japan as a J-vlogger, that he was clearly on the road to becoming a passport bro. Ryan has what I would call a superiority complex that, when not validated, eventually turns into a victim complex. The short-lived life of a passport bro is typically that they go to a foreign land in search of fair maidens and untapped riches. They realize that life is actually pretty hard abroad, and they promptly return home. Passport bros and sexpats will often blame their lack of success, both in their careers abroad and with foreign women, on the fact that they've been sold a lie. They realize that expat life isn't as glamorous as it looks online. They realize that foreign women actually have brains and aren't docile, submissive props. The women who are interested in them are usually interested in them for one thing and one thing only. And although the passport bro will delude himself for a while, eventually he can't really fool himself. As I said, Ryan believes that he is irresistible to women. In fact, according to Ryan, the reason he didn't date women in the United States was because he was overwhelmed by how many women were trying to pursue him. He said this during a period when he was temporarily living in his van in Arizona, as well as couch surfing at a friend's place. And in his own words, no matter what he did, American women chased him and bothered him.
Why didn't you date someone over there? You were not ready to date?
Just trying to get out, and I was overwhelmed, so, I was more focused on find a van, find my direction in life right now, because I just left. Just come. But again, I like to stay away from clubs because I don't like to get chased down the road. I have a problem. Everywhere I go, women chase me, bother me, ask for my number, so I didn't want to deal with it. I was with my friend and his girlfriend. I wanted to be a good guest to them and, spend my time with them. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I'm sure it doesn't surprise you.
She's so uncomfortable.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. This is like when I tell myself that I'm in my single era. I just don't have time to date with all the work I'm doing and the goals I'm trying to achieve and that I've set for myself. But actually, if somebody asked me out, I'd be like, yes, I'm free Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday through to Sunday, and oh, did I say Wednesday? I can squeeze you in from about 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But of course, I'm just so overwhelmed and inundated with attention from all these pesky women wanting a piece of my Yule log. But I don't know what I just said. Like most passport bros, Ryan has a difficult time seeing girls as anything but their looks.
Ooh, some pretty girls out here too.
Ryan knows a lot about Japanese women, like, their individual hopes and dreams, as well as the thoughts going through their minds.
Japanese women are so competitive, and I think this just goes over a lot of foreigners' heads that, and a lot of J-vloggers, I don't think they get this. But when you've been here for a while, you really notice it. They're extremely competitive. If this girl has this brand, I gotta get it too, because I gotta get that Japanese husband who's gonna buy me a house, so I don't have to work anymore. I can
Don't
get
look at me
housework.
like that.
I mean, it's a fierce competition, and they're fighting for the prize. Sorry guys, they're not fighting for
New
Gaijin.
blood.
I'm sorry to tell you that.
Oh,
Tell
we know,
me, girl,
Ryan. They're fighting
you ever
for
hear of the
you. He has a
enclave?
habit of
The
filming
last remnant
any
of the
of
good
the
old-
women he's
Now,
in
I
a
don't
relationship
know you
with
from
or
Adam,
spending the night
but I
with
got
when
you
they're
pegged for
either
a patriot,
getting
and
dressed
any
or
patriot worth her
undressed,
salt
which
is gonna
suggests to
talk
me that he has a
any day
need to
now.
prove
They're
to the
gonna roll
internet
up
that
here,
he is
and then
actually
this nightmare'll
allegedly
be
irresistible to women. Now, it was very obvious to most people watching Ryan's audacity and vlogs that Japanese women weren't like American women who apparently chased and bothered him. In fact, if anything, he was the one doing the chasing and the bothering. One of his most viral videos, titled Beautiful Japanese Woman, is literally a video of him just filming random Japanese women going about their day. There are easily over 30 women featured in this very creepy video, and although most of them knew that he was filming them whilst trying to go about their lives, some of these women were clearly not aware of what Ryan was doing, as he stood behind them on an escalator or just filmed them waiting at a pedestrian crossing, as one does. It's only very recently that this kind of thing has started to be criminalized in Japan
Funny that he
because
would
of
try to
how
do a
common an
copyright
issue
claim
it
while
is for
he's
men to
taking
film
videos
Japanese
of
girls and women
people
without their
without their
consent
consent.
in this, can I reiterate, very creepy way. And I just don't
And it's not
feel
just, like,
that a man who is seemingly irresistible to
content he
women,
makes,
who is
it's-
fending them
it's
off
obvious what he's
left,
doing.
right, and center, would feel any need to do this and post this online for over 300,000 people to see. But that's just me. I would argue that when Ryan's superiority complex wasn't validated in Japan, when women weren't chasing him, when he wasn't enjoying his jobs as an English teacher, he basically, probably subconsciously, decided to become a victim of being the only white guy in the room. During his years as a J-vlogger, Ryan would become known as the most persecuted white man in Japan.
Just make this observation, guys. White guy, Japanese for miles. All you can see is Japanese. Imagine what it feels like being the only white guy among hundreds and thousands of Japanese people.
You know, I bet this is how the first Portuguese navigators felt when they landed on Japan's shores. Ryan would start a series on his channel called Dreamcatcher, in which he essentially moaned about how terrible, depressing, and unfriendly Japan was. The summers were too hot, the winters were too cold, and pretty Japanese women weren't swooning around him. Now, these Dream Crusher videos caused him much controversy and started off a virtual war between himself and the wider J-vlogging community, a community which he had pretty much dismissed as all being weeaboos. In one of his most disliked videos, he'd compare a Japanese kid calling him a foreigner to a black
Because they're
friend of
more
in being called the
male-centered, I
N-word.
guess?
I am not kidding.
But this one little boy out of the three pointed at me and he said something like, Henna gaikokujin, you know, like it's a strange foreigner. You know, of course that made me bad. It made me feel like, it reminded me of my friend. I used to have this friend, her name was from my college days. She was a black girl, we were actually roommates, and it reminded me of her story where she went to a Walmart and a little white girl riding in her mom's basket that she was pushing around the store pointed to her and said, "Mommy, there's a nick." That's what that situation reminded me of. And you know, you might think it's okay the first time you come to Japan, and maybe the first few times it happens, you know, you're like, oh, huh. But you might not even realize it if you don't understand Japanese. You know, newbies that come here, they think that Japan is such a welcoming country, and oh,
Sorry,
I was
who
in
says
Japan and everybody loved me, everybody was so friendly. But they don't get that kind of treat, like you're treated like you just got off the boat. It doesn't matter if you've been here 1 week or 10 years. You're always treated like that.
You know when something is just lacking in so much self-awareness that all you can do is laugh? What's worse is that he didn't even censor out the N-word. He said it with his full persecuted chest. And speaking about chest, do you like mine? Yes, you do. This is a sneaky little merch plug. You can get my merch by using the link down in the description box. My merch store is closing in January, so be sure to get your cat merch, your deep dive merch, your Kidology merch as soon as possible. And a portion of all profits go to Gaza's Children, a non-profit organization supporting the mental health of Palestinian children. I think their work is absolutely incredible and vital, and I thank you so much for your support. These t-shirts are 100% natural cotton and are so comfortable. I can confirm that they will repel passport bros. The link is in the description. Another one of
incriminating
Ryan's
myself for
biggest
copyright,
controversies in Japan
even
was
though
perhaps
it's
his
not. I'm
infamous
being
Gasian
transported.
hunter
Oh, no.
shaming video. Now, when it came to Ryan's war with the weeaboos and the Japanese public at large, they basically called him what is known as a Gasian, which essentially translates to foreigner. But for people like Ryan, this term carries some negative connotations, like you'll always be an outsider or you'll never be Japanese enough, etc. As we know, Ryan thinks that Japanese people are unfriendly. However, he also dislikes what are called Gasian hunters. These are Japanese people who purposefully seek out Westerners in order to either date them, in order to either marry them, to gain social clout from them, improve their English by befriending them. Basically, a Japanese equivalent of a passport bro, like Ryan. Ryan would make a video of himself interacting with a so-called Gasian hunter. In the video, he states that he was just out filming on a Friday night, minding his own business, because it's totally minding your own business to film people out on a Friday night. A guy says, "Welcome to Japan," and instantly Ryan informs us that this is racism. He compares this to if he said "Welcome to America" to every black person and Hispanic person he encounters, which is a bizarre comparison to make.
There's people that are dying.
98% of Japan's population is ethnically Japanese. Their history and demographic makeup is entirely different and not diverse at all. Seeing a white person in Japan is a pretty rare and new thing, actually. But Ryan then complains that it's impossible for someone like him to assimilate in Japan because of the discrimination he faces, which, forgive me, but I think history shows that the immigrant experience is one where total assimilation is impossible. I mean, I will never be British. People will always compliment me on how good my English is. I'll inevitably have my annual racist encounter. But when someone comes up to me, shakes my hand and asks me where I'm from, mind you, black British people do this to me as much as white British people do, my immediate reaction isn't going to be racism. Typically, I just call it unsubtle curiosity and nosiness. This guy was having a conversation with Ryan, telling him his age, that he's a college student, and asking Ryan where he's from. Yet Ryan, who finds the Japanese population unfriendly, says that he found the conversation both boring and pointless. You know, I bet if this student had been a woman, this conversation would have been the most exhilarating thing to have happened to Ryan all week. Another general controversy of Ryan's was his claiming to have enough savings to retire in his 40s, as well as his belief that he was better with money than pretty much the whole debt-ridden population of America.
Never buy things if you can't pay for them in cash. Just really easy concepts that a lot of Americans can't even conceive of living by. And apparently a lot of Americans don't live by those concepts. They get credit cards and they spend more money than they have, and then they get into this giant snowball of debt.
Ryan would make a pretty viral video in 2016 addressing accusations that his expat lifestyle was a scam, that he wasn't actually financially secure and had no savings.
So people say that I'm broke, or that I don't work, or that I'm lazy, or I'm poor. I don't know why they assume that. I worked really hard in Japan. But you know what, I do know why they say that. It doesn't matter what good you're doing in life, because of people's own insecurities, they're gonna put you down. And the thing is I realize that, and I don't let it get to me. It doesn't get to me.
At the time, he'd moved from Japan to Thailand and would admit that he was no longer as financially secure as he was in Japan, because in Thailand, he'd finally decided to stop working and retire. Now, Ryan tells many different stories about why he all of a sudden, after years of misery and racial discrimination, left Japan. Probably the most well-known of the stories is that he left because, and I quote, "Japan was just too easy for him."
I mean, look how much I've done with my life. I've done so much more than a weeaboo could ever achieve, you know? I grew up in America, I went to university, I went to Japan when I was young. I was successful there with money, women, my social game, everything. Then I got tired of Japan. because it was too easy for me. I left Japan. I've traveled the world. I've lived in other countries, Thailand, the Philippines.
He'd last a mere 8 months in Thailand, going to bars where he tried to learn Thai from barmaids he'd attempt to pick up. I love how it's totally okay for him to learn Thai by speaking to a Thai hostess, but it is totally, entirely, fundamentally unacceptable and racist for a Japanese man, a Gasian hunter, to dare speak English to him in his own country. Similarly to his generalizations and stereotypes of Japanese people, Ryan would do the same with times when he announced that he no longer intended to retire in Thailand.
There is definitely an us and them mentality among the Thai people. A lot of Thai vloggers are trying to paint Thailand as this perfect utopia, and Thailand is the perfect place to retire and live forever. But it's not the perfect place. And yes, Thai people are friendly on a superficial level, but the truth is they're scared as shit of foreigners. And they either are scared of you or they want something from you. So for you Thai vloggers out there who are trying to paint Thailand as this perfect utopia, shame on you.
He claimed that he was bored and wanted to seek out better experiences for himself, which ultimately resulted in him going back to Japan and getting back together with Rosie. Unfortunately for him, their reunion would not last long. Ryan would claim that the reason him and Rosie broke up had to do with the fact that she wanted to get married, she wanted to settle down and start a family with him. However, he had one foot in the door and one foot out. He didn't want to spend his money settling down in a house, for instance, and instead would have rather traveled on the road with an RV.
You know, I didn't always have a chance to vlog it, but let's be real, I had a lot of top model looking girls around me all the time. So it's no surprise that who, let's be honest, was one of the most beautiful Japanese women in Japan, if not the world. Doesn't surprise me that she was with me.
He would say that because there were so many women around in Japan, there was a lot of temptation, which caused strain in their relationship. Not that any of that temptation seemed interested in him, but I digress. I think this is a brilliant example of Ryan not knowing what he actually wants, yet simultaneously claiming to be in pursuit of a happy, meaningful life that he can't actually define.
People always say, well, maybe Japan is not the problem, but you're the problem. No, Japan is the problem, and there's no excuses for the way they treat foreigners and their ignorance towards their relations with foreigners. So to sum things up, yeah, I think that getting away helped a lot. It helped lower my stress level. I feel a lot better. My life is a lot less stressful than it was before I went to Thailand. I don't regret any Dream Crusher video I've ever made. All those things are still true. And the one way that I know how I'm going to mentally survive Japan again is if I know I'm going to leave again.
After quite literally sneaking out in the dead of night, and I mean literally, Ryan would leave Rosie for the second and final time. He would move to the Philippines to unwind for a few months before returning to Japan to work and save some money for no longer than a year. I was so glad to see how well that retirement was working out for him. He wouldn't upload to YouTube at all during this time, and people would assume that he'd simply quit J-vlogging or that he was simply back in the United States trying to establish his roots again. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected him to make his vlogging comeback in quite the way that he did. Ryan would call this the third chapter of his life, and this chapter would cement him as what could easily be called YouTube's most delusional, deplorable, and degenerate passport pro out there. I just need to warn you that what lies ahead is going to either educate you or corrupt you. Viewer discretion is heavily advised. One thing that Ryan didn't like about his time in Thailand was how lacking in purity and innocence Thai women were compared to Japanese women. One thing that I find most interesting about Ryan is that he's very progressive in his social thinking, especially when it comes to the topical political issues of the day. He was very pro-trans rights during his time in Thailand, but like most passport bros, he's nonetheless attracted to feminine and traditional traits in women, specifically in young women. Thailand was not the place for him, even though he'd remind us, as he constantly does, of how successful he is with women no matter where in the world he is.
Okay, as a straight male who's successful with women like I am, you meet lots of women and you meet so many women and you meet so many women that are into you that it's something. It's rare when you find yourself thinking about a female, like more than just, oh yeah, I met this girl today.
He also didn't like Thailand because, like in Japan, he didn't feel like he could assimilate or that Thai people were truly accepting him, spending his nights at bars trying to pick up Thai women. So naturally, Ryan would make the seamless transition from East and Southeast Asian woman to East African woman. Ryan would spend some time in Uganda, but he rarely found his home and his roots in Kenya. You would think that the most persecuted white man in Japan, who desires nothing more than to be accepted and assimilated into a country, would, I don't know, try not to be the only white guy in the village. But alas, Ryan wasn't in Kenya to assimilate. Oh no, Ryan was wife hunting.
Are you looking for a husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for something serious.
And how old are you?
24.
Okay.
How would you talk to Quentin?
Turn around. Turn around. Like, turn around so I can see. Yeah, there you go. Oh my god. Come back here. You're too sexy. You look like a model, actually. What, give me a 180. Ooh, look at that figure. Yeah, baby. Let me. Oh.
And you'd think that a wife hunter would want to wine and dine a woman, surely. Oh no.
Well, let me be clear. I've never been on a real date here in East Africa where I meet a girl, wine her, dine her, pay for everything. Have never done that. The kind of dates I do are free dates. We'll meet at the beach, go on a walk, sit in the grass, go to a garden, something like that. I never spend money on women.
Ah, now I know why the ladies are so obsessed with him. Ryan basically divides African women into two categories. The first being princesses, and the second being all the rest. Princesses are basically the most beautiful African woman, but they, unfortunately, want to be treated like royalty, which to Ryan means that when he invites them over to his house, they don't cook or clean his house.
I guess what really got to me is like these princess girls. They would come to my house, but they wouldn't cook or clean or help me with anything around the house. And yeah, they were pretty, but I just knew they were no good.
Can I repeat? When he invites African women over to his house as guests, he doesn't understand why they don't cook or clean for him, why they don't clean his house and cook food for him in his house as guests.
And there were girls that would come over and they just wanted to lounge and watch movies all day. And then when it came time to eat, they wanted me to like order a pizza and have it delivered or something. And yeah, that kind of told me all I needed to know right there. Is like, okay, well,
my God,
you know.
The fact that this is the definition of being a princess is sending me. This is delusion on steroids. Now, Ryan's content during this time essentially involved him putting a different woman in front of the camera immediately after one of their sessions so that she could either listen to him monologuing about how degenerate, robotic, and lacking in cultural experience Americans and Japanese people are, or more importantly, rate his performance.
How was it for you, baby? How was it?
But just
How was
imagine
tonight?
him
Was it magical?
against the
Do you
sugar
think I made you
baby.
pregnant today?
He would evaporate.
Most likely.
Nothing says I'm secure more than asking a woman how magical it was afterwards and whether you impregnated her.
Did you have a good one? Good session?
It was nice. I did enjoy. I liked it.
What did you like about it, baby? So I've been living overseas for over 20 years. And they asked me, are you even listening, sweetie?
No.
Do you care?
No.
Or are you just thinking about getting it in again?
She's thinking about leaving.
He'd entertain these women by, for instance, telling stories of how one time he was accused of filming children. Yes.
Even if I had filmed the kids, it wouldn't have been illegal.
Great
But
choice
anyways,
of a story.
I didn't. The camera was on me the whole time. He showed him the video, and he's like, okay. He's like, you know, some concerned parent called and said you were filming their children, which is like a big freaking deal in America. Like, people are just so up their asses and want to just assert their rights, and they're just suspicious of everybody. okay?
The level of I don't care on her face is a whole mood. And after he tells her about nearly being arrested for being suspected of filming children, she doesn't seem convinced that he didn't do it and tries to convince him to pay off the police.
Yeah, I felt like, you know, and I didn't even do anything wrong.
So did they like go on with the research? Like,
did they follow up on it? There's nothing to follow up on. I don't have a police record. I don't have a criminal record. You can pay a. Listen. You can.
Even if you're taking the video about the child, still when they told.
I didn't take a video of a freaking child.
Yes, like I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's official. Ryan gives off creeper vibes, but he wasn't going to let that kill the mood. Oh no. Lord give me strength. In his wife hunting series, Ryan would film his dates with women. Clearly, he brought a particular kind of joy to the lives of many prospective wives.
That's attraction, baby. That means you're getting hot because of me and my face and my aura, my alphaness. Did you get wet? I'm not surprised. My presence produces that kind of reaction in women.
Oh, I can assure you, not in this woman, Ryan. But that's no bother, because Ryan is clearly very well adjusted and humble enough to accept that he's not everybody's cup of tea.
So, like, what's it like in the mind of a woman when she comes across an alpha lion like me? Look how much I've done with my life. I've done so much more than a weeaboo could ever achieve. They can't even imagine being as awesome as me. They can't even imagine being a lion.
I stand corrected. Now imagine having this conversation with the person you've just had a little fun with and having his arm around you. There's nowhere to go but into that safe, happy place full of rainbows and flowers. And then you just remember how he says,
satisfied.
And suddenly there's no more rainbows and flowers. There's no more safe, happy place. In one video, Ryan would spend the first minute just filming his date's rear end because, well, nothing says happy marriage more than filming and uploading your new girlfriend's attributes to let people know that you're serious. Ryan was basically in yet another war with his followers who were convinced that he was paying for his numerous sessions. Ryan was adamant that he wasn't paying for these sessions, that all these women were with him of their own free volition and because they wanted to be around him.
Have I given you money?
No.
Am I holding you hostage? Have I paid you any money? Have I paid for your time? Have I paid for the best lovemaking you've ever had in the world? Have I paid for that?
No.
Yeah. Do I pay other women to have the best lovemaking experience they've ever had in their life? Do I pay them?
She's like, I don't know. Maybe
I don't. I don't. In fact,
maybe you should.
Some might be inclined to actually pay me.
You know, I just love how when he talks to all these women about himself, of course, not one of them is
not
remotely
about
interested.
that.
I was going to live inside my van. Do you know what a van is?
I know a van.
My plan was to live inside my van and travel around the country.
With that van.
Yeah, and enjoy my life.
In my humble African opinion, it's pretty small-minded to think that an African woman fluent in English doesn't know what a van is.
Do you know what a van is?
But of course, I'm African. How would I know?
Woman! 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 Here's my request. I need coffee, so make that happen. Alright, sweetie, let's wrap this up. You're boring me, so let's call it a day.
The way he talks to women just tells me how many of them he's clearly attracting.
It's kind of funny. You're more into you than you are into me.
Who doesn't
Red
love
flags.
themselves?
Red flag.
Oh my god. Don't you love yourself?
No, when I'm with a
obsessed.
girl, I admire her. I don't admire myself.
Flashback.
They can't even imagine being as awesome as me. They can't even imagine being a lion.
Him moving to Africa to connect with as many women as possible is definitely signaling that he puts women before himself, is definitely not giving red flags. Now, I would just like to formally apologize for subjecting you to this, but at this point, we're in too deep to back out now, brethren. Full steam ahead. Now, in total, Ryan spent 5 whole years in Uganda and Kenya, probably spreading his seed farther and wider than any of his over 100 videos on the subject would suggest. He would, out of the blue, stop posting on YouTube and social media for 4 months in 2024. And this was pretty unusual for him. People wondered what had happened to Ryan Boundless, the White Knight of Africa. Well, in August of 2024, Ryan would return to YouTube with an unexpected update.
Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan Boundless here. Just chilling in my car here in Florida. The last time I made a video was probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I was talking about how I needed to leave Uganda because I was running out of money.
I thought, like most passport bros, that he had enough money to retire and never work again. Having started to run out of money in Africa, a now 50-year-old Ryan returned to the US, and this really symbolized a new beginning for him. An opportunity to get a steady job, save some money, and figure out what he wanted to do for the rest of his life.
So I've been living in my car now for, about 3 weeks. I've been living in my car for 3 weeks, and I love it. Like, I'm so happy. I love it. I mean,
the thing that I love about Ryan is that he will always, without fail, make everything sound like it was his choice, that he is the captain of his voyage. And I do admire that mindset. There's absolutely nothing wrong and nothing shameful about living in your car. Times are bloody tough, and everyone is trying their best in a world that isn't giving much back. However, something tells me that Ryan is still the same old Ryan. His misfortunes are not because of his bad decisions, but because of not being accepted, because of him being mistreated and discriminated against, of him not being as small-minded as those around him and expecting more out of life than financial responsibility. Ironically, Ryan was back to his roots. Before he'd left the US for Japan all those years ago, he'd been a cab driver in his 20s, and now at 50, he was a taxi driver again. For a man who hates the grind, he's truly gone full circle. He'd soon find a job that he enjoyed more, allowing him to leave his car during the day for work, returning only to sleep and drink when the party mood hit. And even at his rock bottom, Ryan still found the time to objectify women.
yeah, actually I work on like college campuses, kind of. Not every day, but sometimes. And, you know, I'm interacting with students, and so when I say we, I'm like me and my coworkers, we went to this one college the other day, and like I couldn't believe what I saw. We get onto campus. I'm not joking you. There were girls walking through the campus in their bikinis. The girls here in southern Florida, and maybe this is all over America, I can't say, because, you know, this is my first time living in America after 25 years, so I can only speak for southern Florida right now, but 50% of the girls were wearing bikinis, you know, and they're just like striding through the campus, you know, moving their hips, like looking hot and sexy, and it was like that. And, you know, I mean, girls will deny this up and down, but I mean, they're horny young girls. The hormones are just popping off, and they're there to get laid. Let's call a spade a spade. They're there to get laid. They'll deny it up and down, you know. Oh no, I was just, you know, me and my friends went to the pool and we had to walk to the dorms in our bikinis.
Young women wear bikinis during the hottest month of the year in Florida on the campus where they live, which must therefore mean they want to get laid. Now, if you believe this, masculinity has failed you, patriarchal indoctrination has polluted you, and your only hope of recovery is to meaningfully read something like this, to deconstruct your mind and to view women as complex individuals in their own right. But I don't think Ryan is doing much reading in his car. Oh no. A lot of his time is still dedicated to talking Japan.
If you live in Japan long enough, you can predict almost 100% how a Japanese person is going to respond to any given scenario and anything you say to them. It's so boring. It's like you're living in an AI world where you're just talking to programmed, like, not even humans but machines, and you know the way they're going to respond because they're machines.
I will never get over the appeal in reducing 124 million people to robots. That is truly a choice. Ryan has made sure to inform us that living in his car in the US is preferable to living in Japan.
How's it been living 2 months in my car? Well, I know a lot of you would like me to regret it and say I hate it. And how could you move from Japan to now living in your car in the United States? The truth is, I love this more than living in Japan. Gotta tell you that. I mean, my car is about the size of a Japanese apartment, except I don't have to pay rent.
You know, just putting to one side how obviously insulting this is to homeless people, I guess I can admire his resilience in the face of homelessness. But to essentially state that being homeless is preferable to living in Japan, that this...
I just rolled out of bed and took a huge morning deuce. I usually don't take morning deuces in the car, but sometimes I just don't feel like getting outside of my car
is preferable to having a smart toilet is wild, insane, bonkers, berserk, ridiculous, nonsensical, daft, outrageous, absurd, but most of all, so incredibly insulting to a country that hosted you for nearly 2 decades, paid your salaries, helped you to master Japanese, was the sole reason you had your YouTube career, and gave you access to a loving relationship. This is just a beautiful instance of lacking self-awareness in the face of adversity, which is usually the point where people have the most self-awareness. But Ryan is clearly built different. In fact, he believes that he's ahead of everybody else.
And I do spend quite a lot. I mean, it's not cheap here in America, but I still feel like I'm ahead of everybody else because even though, yeah, I do spend what feels like a lot of money. You got to remember, I just came from Uganda, but I do feel like I spend a lot on food here, but I justify it by saying I'm not paying any rent. So it's okay, Ryan. Enjoy. Eat what you want to eat. If you're going to spend $25 on dinner tonight, go for it. Spoil yourself.
This is a level of confidence that I've only seen particular men and influencers have, and I am in absolute awe.
Put the seat down like that. So I basically have an L-shaped sofa here.
Yeah, dude, sure.
I can relax my legs like that or like that. And I'm reclined on my seat. So I'm just like sitting back into my seat, just chilling here. It's very comfortable. And if you're jealous of my life, it's okay. We can still be friends.
I need this level of confidence. I would get very far. Ryan's life on the road has essentially revolved around deciding at which fast food establishment, bush or golf course he's going to empty his bowels at. Actually, correction, he deuces in his car.
So I took a deuce in the car, and I don't, not to get too graphic or detailed about it, I've gotten it down to a way that's pretty comfortable and not messy. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So I'm fixing up breakfast.
The transition from talking about defecating in the same car that you work your Uber and Lyft job in to making breakfast is...
That's a lot.
There's something cognitive happening. And whilst deucing in his car, Ryan has also had a lot of time to think about his future plans. According to him, there is a reason why he's living in his car, and that has everything to do with his future plans to procreate.
Because I know how men are. It's like, we're just like horny bobbleheads up until about 50. And even after 50, it's rough. But finally, I'm starting to feel a little bit of calmness in my life in regards to the horniness level, where I can just I still love women, but
people like this
God,
have
man,
it in
constantly
the idea,
chase and tail,
have the idea in their head that they
thinking
have
about
to have
sex and getting it's exhausting, I finally feel like I have a little bit of calmness where I can focus on having a family and focusing on having a good relationship with my son or my daughter.
Firstly, Ryan doesn't just want to save money. He wants to save money in order to purchase land, to build a home, or purchase property outright. He believes he'll be able to do this within the next few years. Secondly, and I think most importantly, Ryan wants to have a child when he's between the ages of 55 and 60, no sooner and no later.
The time's gonna come when I am financially comfortable and I can have a 20 or a 30-year-old girlfriend when I'm 60 and give us a comfortable life and have a son or a daughter. But yeah, I want to get that solved by the time by at least 60, right? But I'm shooting for 55.
Ryan believes that as a father-to-be, his only job is to provide financial stability for his wife so that she can raise their child on the land that he's going to buy within the next few years. He doesn't believe a man should change a diaper, let alone touch a diaper. He also doesn't believe that a father needs to be at all present in the first 5 years of a child's life.
I don't believe that a man needs to be in a child's life for the first 5 years. A man doesn't need to be there. all an infant needs is like milk and a mother, like a mother to be motherly and that feminine, nurturing way that just a man doesn't have. And they need their diapers changed, and all that is relegated to a woman. And women are they're just more predisposed to deal with that stuff. The crying, the screeching, the screaming, the dirty diapers, the temper tantrums. Like, women are predispositioned and they're geared towards dealing with that stuff. Men aren't. I don't feel like I am. But like if I have a child when I'm 55 or 60, calm, patient, loving, got the long-term vision, you know?
No,
totally different person. I think I would be a great father in my 50s or 60s compared to my 20s. You know, and some people say, oh, well, you know, you're going to be old, you're not going to have enough energy to keep up with children, young children. Well, yeah, I mean, I can definitely feel my age physically, but I'm not an out-of-shape 55-year-old guy or 60. I'm not going to be an out-of-shape 55-year-old or 60-year-old guy. And my wife is going to be in her 20s, so she'll have the energy to take care of them. And I basically think that it's like, that's the woman's job, is to take care. She's the primary caretaker. My job is to take care of her, make sure she's okay, you know? And like, I get to just enjoy playing with the children. I don't have to get into the diaper changing and the temper tantrums and all that. No, that's the woman's job.
Wow,
He changes his own diapers,
wow.
so-
Now, based on all of this, you would think that Ryan would be
Clearly, he
intent
doesn't
on
need to do
finally
anymore.
holding down a job, especially if he's looking to save for land.
My last day was November 5th. After all those jobs ended, I took about a week off and just relaxed in my car and kind of thought about what I was going to do next. And I thought that I was just going to look for another full-time job there in North Miami. Then well, there's just one thing that I just got exhausted from living here in Southern Florida, and that's the heat. I've never liked living in a humid place, whether it was a Japanese summer, Thailand.
Why? If you know that you hate the humidity and heat in Japan, would you stay in Florida?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just arrived in Minneapolis about an hour ago. It's fucking freezing here.
Why? If you know that you hate the cold from your years in Japan, would you stay in Minneapolis? Ryan also has absolutely no motivation to go overseas to find a wife because foreign women are, quote, pariahs.
I actually have no motivation to go overseas to find a wife. I just don't, because I know that they're just like pariahs, man. In that relationship, all of the benefit is for them.
The fact that he thinks foreign women are pariahs when he's previously spent an entire video filming a woman's butt in public and made a whole series asking women how good he is in bed right after the fact it's the epitome of saying, I have never introspected. However, Ryan also knows that it'll be easier for him to get a foreign woman in her 20s than an American woman in her 20s.
You know, like, would I date an American woman? I would if she was in her 20s and she was into me and I was into her. I could do that. But is it likely? Is it realistic? I would say the probability is higher that I could meet a beautiful woman overseas in South America, Africa, Asia, wherever. I would say the probability is higher there.
Ryan wants to buy land in the States, but he also apparently doesn't want to raise his future offspring in America in fear that the child will take for granted a life of abundance.
If I had a child with a Ugandan woman, I would want my child to actually, I'd actually want them to grow up in Uganda for part of their life, to not take this life of abundance we have in America here for granted. I would want them to have that humbleness instilled in them.
You're living in your car, hating your life as an Uber driver, somewhere in North Dakota with no money, and you're talking about not wanting your future child to take for granted a life of abundance. Now, as you can probably tell, Ryan inevitably finds himself in a quagmire that is entirely of his own making. It's become clear over the past few months that the delusion of car life being this big, wonderful, hustling adventure isn't coming to fruition.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm still able to save money, but I just can't save as much as I thought I would because it's just so dang expensive here. So it looks like what I've had to do is just adjust my timeline. Things aren't happening as quick as I thought they would, but that's okay. Here I am, 50 years old, single guy, no family, no children, no assets, no property, no home. Really, the only thing I have of value is this car that I'm in.
He doesn't like working for Uber. He actually doesn't like working very much at all, really. He wants to buy land in states that he can't afford to, and he isn't getting much action living and defecating in his Toyota. The difficult thing with Ryan, which is actually very clever of him, is that because he claims to be living his best life, he is adamant that anyone who says otherwise is merely projecting their insecurities and their fears onto him.
The point is yeah, just there's a lot of people watching my life and projecting their own fears and how they feel onto me, and I'm a different person.
He's definitely not fearful of his situation.
To do that.
Because living in his car was his choice, this is a mere stepping stone, an adventure, a single bachelor on the road saving money and exploring the southeastern United States. And yes, it is very true that he doesn't have to answer to anybody, that he doesn't have to pay rent. And yet, a big part of growing up, of learning the valuable life skills needed to be an adult, is taking on financial responsibilities, spending your money on paying bills that just keep getting higher and higher and higher. And a big part of preparing to get married and having kids is acquiring the skills to put the needs of the marriage and of your children before your own desire to just get up and move when the mood hits you. If you don't want that, fine. But if, like Ryan, you're claiming to be living in your car in order to save, to buy land, and marry a 20-something-year-old to have a full-on child with, people critiquing your life choices isn't projection. It's a reality check. That he expects to achieve all of this within the next 9 years is intriguing to me. And when I say that I am rooting for him, I mean it. I want him to buy his land. I want him to buy his house or live off his land. I want him to attract and marry a 20-something-year-old, preferably an American woman because she's less likely to be a pariah. I want him to procreate with her, and I want him to move her to Kenya so that she and his child don't take for granted the abundant life he's giving them.
My mind is geared towards having my own land, having a little homestead.
A few moments later.
I have no carpentry skills, building skills. I don't have a really solid grasp on things like sewage, electricity.
The fact that he seemingly hasn't been dating or attracting any of the American women who seemingly bother and chase him so much, and yet expects to marry one of them, is equally fascinating to me. But the thing with Ryan is that when the delusion doesn't become reality, he blames everything and everybody else for the problems that he himself creates. In Ryan's case, he sees Americans as being too small-minded, Japanese people as being too small-minded, and foreign women as being pariahs. He always has to leave someplace because of everything and everyone but himself. There is minimal introspection because introspection would probably tell him a lot about himself that he has no interest in knowing. Now, obviously, Ryan got big time mad that people think he is delusional.
So what's your fucking problem? Why are you f***ing on my dream? Look, I can have a wife that's 20 years old when I am 60. I can do that. I don't need your fucking permission.
Yes, you can, Queen.
I can buy land with cash for $40,000 or less.
Yes, you can, Queen.
I don't need your permission.
That's right.
I can live in a yurt if I want to. I don't need your permission. I don't care what you say. Telling me I can't do this, I can't do that. I've done a lot of things in life that people didn't think I could do. I've done them. The problem is your limited thinking. That's the problem.
Definitely.
You can't imagine doing it yourself, so you believe that somebody else can't do it. I don't even have to make these fucking videos.
For somebody who doesn't care what people think about him and his life choices, Ryan does spend a lot of time and energy responding to what people think and say about him and his life choices.
Hey guys, day 319 living in my car. Still smells good. It's still my little house. I eat in it, I sleep in it, I crap in it. I daydream in
I
it.
think he just likes the smell
I
of
listen to
shit.
the rain outside while I'm laying in my bed in it. I live my life in it.
Ryan hasn't posted on YouTube for over 6 months, and nobody has heard a peep or a deuce out of him. Usually when this happens, he comes back announcing that he's living in another country, that he isn't assimilating, and that all the people in his host country are discriminating against him or something. It will be most interesting to see where and what this passport bro gets up to next. But in the meantime, ladies, try to resist everything I've shown you in this little deep dive, because as we've seen, Ryan is truly irresistible and he's currently wife hunting. It's likely that you're already sliding into his DMs, prepping for that glorious, abundant life, raising his child without his input for the first 5 years. Be sure to invite me to the wedding. Let me know what you think about passport bros, and especially about Ryan Boundless, the man, the myth, the lion. I have no words of wisdom. I have no words of hope. I'm just stunned. I am quite sure Gen X doesn't claim him, but I am kind of impressed at how well he juggles being a progressive nomad with having the self-awareness levels of a MAGA bro. I wouldn't say this was fun, but it was different. I don't think I can do this again. Let me know who you'd like me to cover next. And happy holidays. I cannot believe it is already nearly 2026. I'm just going to be at home with my cat, finishing some work deadlines and editing my annual Q&A, because it is soon to be, I'm sorry, I can't believe it. It is soon to be my 5-year anniversary on YouTube. I cannot believe it. I feel so young and yet so old all at the same time. If you've been here since the good old days, make yourself known down below, and I thank you so much, each and every one of you. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, and with Ryan
Was there another one? Full playlist. This one's interesting. It came out 2 weeks ago. Let me grab the link. Because I listened to the first few minutes of it and I was like, this is interesting. Okay. Dude. Why is the stream not coming up? There. That one has no actual visuals, it's just gameplay footage, so... Come on. Oh, that's fucking why. Because this is the different browser. Never mind. I mean, I thought it would still work. Jesus Christ, okay. Playlist. Copy. Description. Do I want to have it?
I want to.
Okay, so we're playing that new video. Oh my god. Let's just try Fallout one more fucking time, because why are... Play. And playing the video. 3, 2, 1.
Start this video off by saying that I'm no longer friends with a person that is like the main subject of this video. This is going to be a very heavy topic. I don't really do videos like this. This is just a video I want to do to get my mind kind of like a breather. I want to express myself, because it's a topic that still bothers me, and I feel like, you know, expressing myself in this way, explaining the full thing from start to finish, will at least help me a bit more to, like, I think cope would be the word that I want to use about this topic. So I'll warn you right now. Again, this is a heavy video. This is going to talk about some heavy stuff. So you have been warned.
Just as a hypothetical, I'm very interested.
So to start off, I'll give this person a fake name. I'll name them Kyle. Now, Kyle was my best friend since we were little, since the 1st grade, basically. And we were inseparable. We were the type of friends that if we were to sit together, the teacher would have to split us up due to the amount of like talking and messing around we do. By when the quarantine came, we got even closer, because that's when we started to play on our PlayStation, and I introduced him to my cousin and some other friends, 2 other friends. And we became basically an inseparable group. We'd play Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, basically any multiplayer game that we could at the time. We'd share accounts, and yeah, we'd tell each other everything.
Good to meet
well,
you.
more specifically, Kyle and me.
Say,
Kyle would tell
working
me
on a
everything that
book
would be
about the
happening, and I tell him
wasteland.
everything that'd be happening in my life. And when quarantine ended, we talked still more, but then I had a trip to New York. So from late 2021 to like mid 2023, I was in New York, and I still played a lot with them, but not as much at the same time. Like, I had my own personal life there, and I did completely different things. Yet I still did most of, like, you know, spent most of my time playing with them. Now, this whole thing, the entire thing, the whole, like, deal, started when I came back from New York. And when I came back from New York, the first thing is that Kyle wanted to introduce his girlfriend to me, and I knew this girl because when I was younger, like, she was from our school. When I was younger, she's like a year above. We'd play, and she was friends with my cousin as well. But of course, I left to the country. We stopped talking, and my cousin probably forgot about her as well. And when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, I'm shocked. I know you." And they seemed like a good couple, right? They seemed to be nice. Like, Kyle would tell me a lot about their, like, overall relationship, and it sounded nice. But throughout 2023, it became messy. Very, 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 very messy. They'd break up, they'd get back together, one would cheat on the other. It was basically a super toxic relationship between the two. They'd hurt each other both emotionally and mentally by, like, playing games with each other, in the sense of, like, oh, look who I am now. Like, they'd hurt other people by trying to get with them, all to, like, get with them in, like, the dating sense. We're still not the main topic. To get with them and, like, say, oh, look, I got a new man. Oh, look, I got a new girl. It's like, this is like high school drama in a way, like movie type stuff, but it actually happened, and they did each other bad. Now, the main thing that is very important to say is that we are still, like, teenagers. We aren't even 16 still, and
Well, it's a dangerous place.
No, yeah, we were around that age actually. We were around that age.
No, then they
But
just
the thing
yell
is,
a lot
they had
at me.
been dating for like a year or so before, and she's a year older, so she'd be like
Oh, well,
either 16 or
hats,
17
cans,
when he
meds,
was
and maybe
15 to
even
16.
a few unique inventions,
And
if you do a good job.
they had
With a little
relationship,
ingenuity,
and not a
you
relationship.
can
They
turn
had
a pile of
they
junk into a
basically had
mountain of
sex,
caps.
right?
And
And
there's no shortage of junk.
uh,
So,
I
help out?
personally believe this is what fucked my friend up. This is what fucked Kyle up, because ever since he broke up with her, like definitely no longer like got over her. I feel like it started a trend in his mind where he, with whoever partner he was, just wanted to, have sex, get laid, basically, and like that became a constant theme, and that's like the whole thing that started this entire messy business that I'm gonna talk about. Now, once he had broken up with her,
Things like where it
and like
is and
fully
isn't
gotten
safe
over
to
her,
find
he
food.
immediately went with this
sounds
other
like
girl
fun.
who I never even knew about. And I don't know exactly when they met. I don't know
Well,
exactly
food
how they
and
met,
medicine.
but I do remember
Everyone-
one of
There's an
the
old
starting
super-duper mart
allegations.
not far from here.
And
I need to know if a
basically
place
what
like
had
that
happened
still
was
has any food.
there was this party. I don't remember
right.
exactly of who it was,
is
who
most
started it, but it
important.
was a party. They were both together, and Kyle had basically taken her to the bathroom to force himself on her. And um, he told me about this. He told me about it and told me that she was lying because she, the girl, was starting to tell everybody around the friend circle. By this time, me and Kyle, in school at least, we weren't as friends anymore because he'd ignore us for him to be with those other friend group. And it was part of that other friend group who had started the party, I'm pretty sure. And in that party, again,
And I can't write
that
without
girl
research, or else people might
said
follow
that
info
he had
and
forced
die.
himself on her. And Benjamin told me about this, and I was like, holy shit, is that true? And of course, I'll believe my best friend. He said that no, he started to defend himself, saying like, no, I didn't do anything. And like, he even started to cry crocodile tears, fucking dry ass tears. And of course I believed him and I defended him. Like if anybody brought it up, I'd say, "Oh, hey, no, like you got it wrong. Like Kyle wouldn't do that shit." How wrong was I? That I was too naive.
Couldn't do that. Besides, it's
Now,
not like
whole thing, the
Yeah,
whole like
bombs definitely
allegations
not
and
gonna hurt
stuff.
anybody, that's for sure.
Now,
Sure thing.
then another thing.
I haven't got
Once
nearly
this
the
had
experience
stopped,
in the
there
waste
was this
that
girl
you
in my
do.
class who I knew
least
who
you look like
used
you
to
can
date my
really handle
cousin.
yourself out
Her
there.
name, I'll call her Annie. And there was this other situation in
I
where
know exactly what I'm doing.
Kyle and
I'm
Annie had gone into a
It's a hell of a
party.
lot better than wasting
Most of
my
the,
talents with
mind
the
you, most of
caravan.
these happen at parties because the other person or he himself would be drunk. They'd be drinking, and that doesn't really do good, huh? Basically, this party, what ended up happening was,
guess they do bring
it was a cold night.
supplies here and there.
Annie, this girl, she had brought a short dress, like it wouldn't cover her legs fully, and it was cold. Again, Kyle, noticing this, the gentleman he was, would put his coat over her legs and sit next to her to warm her up. Now, there are two stories. The first one, Kyle told me immediately after it had happened, immediately after like the party happened, and I'll say now. What happened was, once he had put his coat over their legs, she reached her hand to his crotch and proceeded to touch him. Now, what I never picked up on was that he never explained this as any sort of as he was victimized or anything. He explained this as if he wanted it, as if he asked her to do it without them having to look at each other or tell each other. It's as if he wanted exactly for this to happen because he liked Annie. He found her hot. And I never picked up on that until recently when I started to put the pieces together. And now I never knew about the true story until late 2024. But before that, there's another very big event that happened, or multiple events that happened. Basically, Kyle had been trying to get with this other girl who I'll call Mikey, and it was a whole mess. I feel like I won't even be able to explain it because even I struggled to catch up on it. But basically, we used to have another friend in our class, and they no longer became friends. Right? Because of this whole deal with Mikey and her friend. Now then, what ended up happening was, Kyle was badly hurt by Mikey in like the emotional sense, and I remember this very well because it was my birthday. Once everybody else had left, he had stayed, and we talked, and it was like our first deep talk in a while after he basically stopped. Like we basically stopped talking much. Like I was starting to split away from him during all this, and it was natural. It wasn't even because I noticed what he was doing. It's just that I started to dislike him for other reasons because he started to be like the people I dislike. And then I realized I had even more of a reason to stop being his friend. But anyways, he talked to me, and I remember this very well because it was my birthday. Basically, once he was hurt by Mikey, he told me that now his plan was to get with all of the girls he found hot in our class by going to parties and taking advantage of them by being drunk. And I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck? You're not serious about that, are you?
You felt safe to tell me that?
And
the fuck?
he never said yes nor no. And this was one of like the things that was like, okay, this guy, he's no longer being my friend anymore. And then now with Annie's story about what happened at that party, it was late 2024. And I'd ask her, it was genuine curiosity, I'd ask her. I was like, you know, Kyle told me about this thing that happened at this party, and I just wanted to know, like, did that happen? Because he liked this other girl during that time, because he liked Mikey at that time. No, he was after both Mikey and Annie. And Annie then told me that the story was completely different. And it was that it wasn't her who reached to his crotch, but it was him who reached to hers. And that she had told him to stop, but he didn't listen and continued. And she was frozen in fear, especially because it was a public place. She couldn't like freak out. She was too scared to freak out.
I think a lot of people don't understand.
And I just
why
stood there
people
and I was
freeze,
like,
because it's like, oh well, someone can
oh
help
my
you.
God.
No, it's seen as embarrassing.
I have been
to be caught in
defending
situation
a
like
rapist.
that, and that's why people freeze.
I've been friends with a rapist, and I've been caring. I've been like, you know, feeling bad for him in multiple situations without knowing just how bad he truly was. I know there's other cases I just can't remember, which really bothers me because there was a lot that happened during 2024. 2024 was a long year, and
it was a long year for me too.
It's still stuck with me. And I then, by the ending of 2024, early 2025, I decided to tell our friend group, my cousin Elijah. I think this is the fake name I gave him, right? Did I mention I gave him a fake name? My cousin Elijah and the two other friends. And here's where I told them what I've been told. And at first I immediately told my cousin because I was closer with my cousin than I was with the other two guys. And like this cousin Elijah, he's my favorite cousin, or was my favorite cousin. Now you'll see why. He was my favorite cousin. I used to talk to him all the time. Basically the same situation with Kyle, where like I was closer to him, but this time it was even worse because I knew him since I was a baby. I've got pictures with Elijah since we both were like 2 or even 1 years old, maybe even months old. Now, the thing is, I told him, and he was confused. He was at first like, he didn't give me much of a reaction, and he just like laughed awkwardly, and I was like, why? What the fuck? Excuse me. And I kept trying to explain the seriousness of the situation, but he just laughed it off. I was like, bro, excuse you?
Yeah.
What the fuck? He couldn't believe it.
Full denial.
And I understand because again, we were close. As the friend group, we were close. And I understand that was my same reaction when I first heard about the situation in the party where he forced himself on a girl.
Well, I'm back
And I tried my best to explain it to him, and yet he still didn't care. But then I had a chance to tell my other friend, I'll just call him Nelson. I had my chance to explain to Nelson what happened with Elijah there as well. I explained them to them both better, trying to like really put the pieces together and explain them, oh hey, this is what happened and this is how it happened. And Nelson couldn't believe it either. He's like, what? That's disgusting. There's no way. 2 days later, or like a week later. It wasn't too long, but like a moment later, like a couple days later, whatnot. Nelson comes back to me and tells me what Kyle, like what happened was totally a lie.
There's just 10
And that's not at all what happened according to Kyle. And now here I wouldn't believe this bullshit because I've been gullible enough to believe Kyle. It's happened to I should know. And the thing is that I told him the story about him and Annie where Annie told me how he touched her when putting the coat over. And then Kyle had apparently told Nelson that that was not at all the case, that they never even did anything in the first place, and that Kyle was with Mikey in the moment.
He's a terrible
And that totally broke the entire timeline because that's not at all exactly how it happened. But I didn't know that at the time. I was so confused at the time. I was like, really? But I still like immediately distanced myself from him already by that time when they started to believe him. But I was trying to put the pieces together. It's like, is that truly what had happened? Is that really how it went? But then I put the timeline together, and no, Mikey wasn't even part of this yet. Like, he said that he was with Mikey at the time, but during this, he was trying to even talk to her to begin with. I was so pissed, I was so enraged, but I never told it to Nelson because I figured it out too late. And I split off from my friend group. And weeks, months passed, and I'm still talking to Elijah. I believe that, they stopped talking to him. And we're playing on the PlayStation, right? I got a PlayStation 5 now, we're all happy. And I'm on Elijah's account. And then it says, Kyle has gone online. He has on notifications on for whenever Kyle is going to be online. And I was like, do you guys still play with Kyle? And they're like, yeah. Why? And they're like, what do you mean, why? Do you not remember? And I was like, I don't know. Like, what happened happened. And I was like, how can you be like that? How? How are you just gonna ignore something like that? I understand we are, near our adulthood, near our, like, early adult, 18 and whatnot. We're near that age, or we were near that age. And it's like, I understand that, but, like, he raped 2 girls. And one of them, one of them didn't even say anything to nobody. I was the one who had to ended up saying it in the end. And that was Annie. And I was just dumbfounded. And ever since then, I myself have been ignoring it from Elijah. At least from Elijah. I couldn't stand Nelson and the other friend, and I couldn't stand Kyle. But from Elijah, I see this cousin as an angel. I love this cousin of mine. It breaks my heart. I'm trying not to get emotional over it because it generally breaks my heart to see my cousin, the baby I used to know, even though he's older than me. Like, I used to know him since we were babies, and for him to start like ignoring such a thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? But it doesn't end there. Now, what prompted me to say this video, do this video, is that I've been living in fear because I've no longer been part of that friend group, and I remember one time I joined a PlayStation party with them, and Kyle was there, or he joined after I did, without knowing that I was there, and then he started to make fun of the situation, like, oh, haha, watch out, I'm gonna touch a woman if I'm not careful, ah, ha, 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 and I'm like, how can you be so scummy of a person? How can you be so disgusting? And the others were joking with him about it. Elijah was quiet during it, but I so know that they probably have it as an inside joke, and that's what disgusts me. That's what genuinely, it makes my stomach sick. Now, the reason I've been living in fear is because we live pretty close to each other, and Kyle is a much bigger guy than I am. I'm skinny. I'm sticks and bones, basically. I'm bones and flesh. I don't have any muscle. I'm skinny. That's I'm genuinely fucking hating on myself at this point. But I'm skinny, and he is more chubby, but he started to go more to the gym, and I could tell. I every so often see Elijah's phone, and he'd go through his stories on Instagram and see how he's more
guess it doesn't count.
beefed up. And I lived in fear that Kyle would, you know, try to get back at me over it, because the way I saw it, it's like I basically I almost ruined his life, but it was never, it was supposed to be ruined. It should have been ruined because of the things he did, and he had no consequences from it, no repercussions, no restraining orders, no police reports, no nothing, no nothing, none of that, because Annie, for example, was too scared to even speak out, and the other girl just same thing, like she tried to do it, but nobody said anything about it. And my friends, my supposed friends and cousin, are still here messing around with him about it, and I'm like, I'm disgusted. But something recently happened. Like I've by the way, I've fully split away from that group. Elijah still comes over to my house every so often, but I don't see him the same anymore. I don't. It's weird. Every time he's here, I don't know. I get like a weird feeling. It's sad, really, for me, because I really love this cousin. I see him as a sweet little angel. He never swore. He was very good at his grades. He did chores around the house without any effort, nor even being able to be told about it. But he's been surrounding himself under bad influence, and now he's starting to go down in that. Now he's more of like the opposite. He swears. His grades are still good because he's a smart kid, but they're kind of getting unbalanced. Every time I go to his house, his mom constantly tells him, "Hey, go do this, go do that," like the stuff that he usually would do without needing to be told to. And it's so infuriating. It's so infuriating. But something recently happened. Something very recently happened where I was invited to one of my ex-classmates' birthdays. I'm no longer in the same school. I go to a college now. It's a completely different city as well. And I was invited to one of my ex-classmates' birthday parties a couple days ago. And he was my friend, and I wanted to go meet the other people that were my friends as well.
Nice.
Like, after I split up from Kyle, the people that were going to be invited there were people I actually liked and still talk to, and I wanted to catch up on them to see how they were. First things first, they were not my people. I went to the thing, yeah, sure, I went to the thing. They were not my people. They were totally different to what I am. I'm very much of a goody two-shoes. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't do drugs, I don't do weed, I don't, nothing, none of that. But they were, it wasn't bad, they were nice. I'm just saying they're just not my type of people. They'd be vaping and, puffing smoke in my face, and it's annoying for you to puff the smoke in my face, but, I'll just move away, and overall they were nice.
Yeah, no, don't puff
But
the
then
smoke in my face.
my classmate, my friend who had invited me there, had told me that
Sometimes
Kyle
it's
was coming.
unintentional, and
And
the wind carries
keep
it,
in mind,
but-
this would be the first time I'd see him again in close to a year and a half, almost 2 years. This would be the first time I'd see him again. All of 2025, I didn't see him. The late of 2024, same thing. I fully distanced myself from him.
Good.
I panicked. I was genuinely distraught. I called Regan, or Regan called me, and this is after basically a little excuse to leave. We faked that Regan was my mom calling me for an emergency, and I left the party, the house. It wasn't really a party. It was just a friend gathering, mind you. And I got to see my old friends. I got to see
Actually,
3 of my old friends. But
try and find it myself.
when I tried to explain to them why I did not want Kyle coming over, why I was like, oh no, this is bad. One of them was like, oh, how long ago was this? I was like, I don't know, a year or so. And he's like, oh, so what? What do you mean, so what? That doesn't... I understand people can change. I understand people, they're not forever gonna stay the same thing, especially since you're young.
See if I can get this repaired.
But Kyle, he knew what he was doing. He was smart enough to get, again, to wait for them to be drunk and take advantage of them. I don't care how much he's changed. He is still a rapist to me. He is still a horrible, horrible person. And to my fear, he did show up. I couldn't believe it. He came up to me, put his hand out, and he was like, "Hey, it's been a long time." Basically, movie shit is what I'm describing here right now. Not that I think about it, but that's what happened. And I didn't shake his hand. I just looked at him and was like, "Holy shit!" And
yeah. When he
said like, "You abandoned us." And I was like,
after they've done
"What?
some fucked up shit.
You stopped playing with us," he said. "Do you really not remember what happened?" Is what I told him. Like, do you not know? And he's like, "What happened?"
What?
Not even he remembered. Not even he knew in the end why I stopped being friends with him. I was like, "You're a fucking rapist? What do you mean? Like, what the fuck?"
He's pretending the shit
And
doesn't
then
exist.
I asked Regan to call me, and
innocent.
I left. You know, like acting as an emergency. I really, really hate that nobody else cared. That nobody cares. Like, again, he can change, but it's up to the new people he's gonna meet. Why are the people who know what he did still being friends with him? Why are the people who have heard? I have basically almost seen it happen. But again, nobody cares. Nobody listened to me. And I know that when I left, I am so sure I was called, I was messaged. They almost came over to my house. My friend, my classmate, he's not my friend, fuck him. My classmate. They almost came over to my house because we live very close by. His house is like 1 minute run from my house. That's how close he lives to my house. And like, I was panicking. I was like, no, I want to be in the comfort of my own home. I don't want to be here. I don't want to even interact with this person. And I just know, again, I know that Kyle for sure told them that, you know, like, oh, like, I'm mixing up my words right now. Jesus Christ. Before he came, I kept explaining the situation when it happened. I tried to, like, tell the people there what he had done. And Bruno, who was the classmate, I was trying not to say his name, but fuck it, Bruno said, you know, he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I remember that. Why are you still inviting him then?" I asked him that as well, and he was like, "Oh no, I made up with him." And it's like, why? What is wrong with people's heads? And again, I know I told these people what happened with him and Annie and that other girl, and I know that once they left, they probably asked him like, "Oh, like, do you know why he left? Do you know why I left? Do you know why he left?" And he'd probably be like, "No," and I was like, "Oh, he said that, you know, you had like bad business with you or whatnot, or like, oh, he didn't like you." And it's like, why? It's like, oh, I just know he probably lied his way out of it. I really, really hate him. I lived in fear because I was scared to find him out in public. I hadn't seen him for a year and a half, but to see him again, acting as if nothing's happened, sickens me. Like, straight up sickens me. I hate it. I really, really hate it. I hope my words aren't too harsh for YouTube, because I remember I got fucking striked or something because I said I want to kill myself, even though I immediately after said that I really loved myself in my life. But
yeah, you can't say shit on YouTube.
I just needed to, like, express myself. If I were to fully express myself, I'd get my fucking channel taken down. Oh my god, I am so enraged at the fact that nobody seems to care, nobody seems to listen. I don't understand what I can do for them to understand how bad the situation is, and why are they acting so nonchalantly about it. It still bothers me now. It really, really does. But, yeah, I feel like this is gonna be the end of my, like, rant, my story
people, like,
time,
look,
my speech.
Respect people around me, so I'm not gonna be around
Also, this is very bad because I'm talking about all this serious shit while I have Devil May Cry 4 in the background. The scene you're about to watch is very sexual in Devil May Cry 4. But yeah, I don't even know I'm gonna keep this video up for long, so if you watch it, well, you watched it. But yeah, I really, I was gonna say I hope you enjoyed. No, this is not a video for you to enjoy. This is, again, I just need to like express myself. But yeah, I'll do a Devil May Cry video later. I'll see you guys. Bye bye.
Oh, fucking why? There we go. That's kind of...
Need some grub? Try the brass lantern.
I'm not gonna switch back because then I'll just have to fucking reload this game again. Okay, I was already here. I don't know why I'm coming back here. Among Us? Damn it, zoom out. I'll just make my way back to the Super Duper Mart and try to... If you eat the food... I don't think that takes away your quest thing. Like, I don't think it can be undone. Right? I think you just have to have... Jesus Christ, bitch. What the fuck? Leave me alone. Dude. One of the cats just Tokyo drifting through the fucking house. Is this... Okay. see if I can just go straight there without running into anything. I was thinking too about the Boundless Journey thing, like both Passport Pros and like 90 Day Fiancé types. It's like, you guys just want a situationship. That's what I was thinking of. It's like, not thinking of relationships as something that's changing and like gonna be different from one to the next because people are unique. Very bizarre. Oh. There we go. Is this the front of the Super Duper Mart? It's all boarded up on this side. Okay, no, it's over here. I was really confused. I'm like, that is not the same building. I need to turn up the brightness. There. I need to actually be able to see at night. sworn that I had frag grenades. Maybe it wasn't that save that I got them? I don't know. Okay, it actually works pretty good.
Help me with this one.
Hello.
Were you just kidding about disarming that thing?
When I get the chance.
He is coming with the clouds, and every eye shall be blind with his glory.
Oh yeah, the water treatment plant.
Every ear shall be stricken deaf to hear the...
Oh.
It's you. I was.
Oh, our order's here.
See you soon.
I guess I gotta just follow him. Everyone just watching me creepily follow him. He would move slow. Almost at the water treatment plant. if I should stop him here or wait till he's done.
God damn it. Can't you leave me? Yeah, sure thing.
I mean... Actually, cancel that.
Talk to you later, buddy.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
God damn it. Look, keep your bullshit judgments to yourself, man. Just don't tell Jenny or Andy and... Anytime.
Now, where are Jenny and Andy? I was googling disable megaton bomb. I accidentally typed it as disable magaton bomb. Have to have an explosive skill of at least 25. Okay, I thought pressing it would immediately make it explode. But you can just use the save to, like, avoid that.
I'll be damned. You did it, didn't you? You disarmed that thing. Here's your reward. Hell, why don't you move in?
I'm so bad at streaming. Oh, and it's gonna do the thing. I guess Fallout 3 is not the game to fucking stream because it wants to be an asshole. I'm assuming it saved. Where did Lucas go?
Every ear shall be stricken deaf to hear the thunder of his voice. Let the men,
there he is.
Women...
I'll be... Here's your reward. Hell, why don't you move in? Could use someone like you. Got an empty place here you can use. Here's the key indeed. It ain't much to look at, but talk with Moira. She's got random odds and ends you might be able to spruce the place up with.
Easy as hell. Finally. Might go Black Widow, considering Elizabeth's character. I gotta run downstairs now and grab food. Food's here, boyfriend's taking a nap, not sure if he wants to eat right away or not. He just went to go lay down though, so I'll let him lay down for a bit. We'll do that. Keep it simple.
Behold the power of Atom.
What do you think now?
Let those who dwell here in his favor. It is so good to see.
What about... No,
Hello?
wait.
It is... News? My friend... Of course. Now that you mention it... Raise shower you, child.
Okay. I guess he doesn't care that it's deactivated now.
Either start talking or get the fuck out of my...
He is coming with the
Where's my
clouds,
place, though?
and every eye shall be blind with his glory. Behold, he is coming with the clouds. Every eye shall be blind with his glory. Every ear shall be stricken deaf.
Alright, wherever it says my megaton house. Just common. Jericho. Oh.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Wadsworth, your personal robotic butler. I am here to look after your needs and to keep you happy and entertained. What can I do for you?
Purified water. Tell me
A neutron walks into a bar. How much for a drink here anyway? To which the bartender responds, for you, no charge.
That was terrible.
Yes, I believe this place could do with a bit more in the way of decoration. Speak with Moira Brown at Craterside Supply. If there's any...
There's the bed.
Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye shall be blind.
Let's see if we can level up a little bit more so we can get that optional quest.
Please. Please help. I've been drinking this irradiated shit and I mean, you don't want anything. I can just... Thank you. Thank you so much. You've saved my life. Bless you.
Welcome to
Yay.
Megaton. Please stand clear.
Oh.
Those monsters, they're gonna get me. Those things. No, those things. Those things. No, you don't care. The grown-ups never cared. Now they're all dead. Well, fine. You'll just die too. Please don't get mad at me. I'm scared. Just help me. Those big things. They're all over Greyditch. And they killed everyone. Please, mister. Please find my papa.
I thought it was a lady, but I guess they didn't account for that in Fallout 3.
Well, they're big, ugly things that crawl around on 6 legs. They got
What, the
huge
ants?
teeth and skitter around grabbing everything in their path. My papa would always say they're fucking ants. Well, that's what he used to call them anyway. I just call them
Right.
fire ants. Nah, those things started coming around. At first, they just crawled around outside our town. But later, they came in. My papa had a gun. He said it hurt those things. But he said they were the dumbest fucking ants he ever saw. He kept telling everyone to shoot for their antenna. Whatever that means. It used to be kinda nice. No one bothered us there. I guess because we were so close to DC. There were 7 of us living there in tall, old brick houses. I think I'm the last one left. Those things took everyone else. Nah, people don't like to stay long in Greyditch. The DC ruins aren't a great place to make a home, you know. In fact, Papa
Yes,
was talking
okay.
about moving on soon. We've been here for maybe a year. Besides me and my papa, there was Doc Lesko, who stayed with us, and Will Brandis and his mama and papa, too. I guess they're all gone now. Nah, go ahead. It's just nice to talk to anyone about stuff at all. He was a strange man. He paid Papa some caps to help him build a shack and carry a bunch of junk into it. Papa called him an egghead, but his head was shaped regular, so I didn't... He spent all of his time in that shack. Every time I'd sneak in there, he'd be sitting at that funny-looking TV machine with the green words pushing buttons. I don't know. Oh wait, he had a big, clunky, shiny man too.
Ballhead.
That was kind of neat. Nah, he was a nice man. But all I know is he was all gone when the ants started showing up. I think they got him too. Yeah? Well, there is Will. He was sorta my friend. And then there was his dad and his mom. Right across the street, actually. It was pretty swell having someone to hang out with so close. Yeah, Will was super nice to me. He was like a year older than me, I think. He even shared his comic books with me. We explored pretty much every bit of Greyditch we could find. I think that's why the ants don't bother me. I have good hiding spots.
Nice.
Well, his mom was nice too. She was kind of quiet, but she always took care of me and my papa when we came over. I think she was sad that my mom was gone. Will's dad was... well, I don't want to be mean, but he was kind of scary. He was like always watching me and my dad real careful, like he didn't trust us or something. He always kept staring at us from the windows of his house and typing stuff into his teeth. Will said his dad was like an old soldier.
Okay. Let's see something else.
You will? Really? Thanks a whole lot. My house is the one closest to the huge sign and the old diner. Please, find my papa and make him come back.
I got these brick crafts that are Hello Kitty that I'm gonna put together sometime. I just had to clear a spot for Goliath so we could sit down.
Well, Papa always said to stay away from. I'll head over.
Those. I still wanna fucking find the medicine. Dude, I gotta get off. Y'all want anything from Super Duper Mart? Don't have stim packs, right? Ooh. I'm pretty much set now.
This is gonna be fun. Kick ass!
Where'd that mine go? Trying to lead them over here.
Scared, huh? You should be. There you are.
Okay, fine. trying to do the laser pistol. Oh.
It's killing time.
How did the... Am I supposed to aim it and throw it? Probably that.
Yeah. Tear 'em apart. God damn it. Ah. No.
Right, okay. I'm just gonna do the...
Tear 'em apart. I'm gonna post you on my fucking wall.
I'm getting most of my inventory, like, full. Ooh, yeah. I do want that pharmacy key. You want this cake? I want it. That is so fucked up. I need my VATS to...
It's go time. Time to die. We got a bleeder.
chicken shit.
My poor pistol, no. Sure. Okay, we need an actual stim pack though. Is there anyone else? I should probably put on some actual armor. 9, 6, 8. Oh, okay. Yeah, I might as well sell it. Okay, let's do some hacking. Four letters. Or no, that's just how many attempts. 5 out of 7 correct. So S-I-N-G. That's okay. Seeking. That's gotta be what it is. Yes! Okay. Hell yeah. Anybody in here? Probably nothing in these boxes. Hmm. Wonder what that is. Yeah. First try. Okay. Maintenance routine. Maintenance in progress. Oh.
Loading personality. Robco R04B9. Office helper. Running default office protocol. Error
Oh, it's stupid.
Security. Breach detected. Please stand back.
Somebody open up the... Hang on. Something ain't right here.
Greetings, fellow office employee. Please present your valid ID. Warning.
Seems like someone's on the...
Please present ID or exit from building. Scanning for hostiles. Area secure. Hostile target detected.
Oh no! Get his ass.
This is now a fire.
Come on. Oh no. Mm-mm. Is my Protectron friend okay? Where did Protectron go? See, did I forget anything? Keep feeling like I'm forgetting something. Well, I can go back now. What if I leave all my books until I get the educated perk and then I can do the get a new skill point every single time and then just like that would be great. There's so many tin cans. Nice. Scared myself. I'll be fine. really? I'm out of fucking... Okay. Where the fuck did he go? Oh! I blew through all my fucking grenades. Anybody stuck in the bathroom while the fight broke out? No drugs. Although Elizabeth would do drugs. Not unless she, like, had to. Hell yeah, brother. I've been needing that. Okay. Interesting that pre-war money is worth something. Like, it's worth 5 caps per money. Just fart over the intercom with no one to hear it. Do you ever want to, like, stay overnight in a store? Like, there is this, Junie B. Jones book where she stays in the school after hours, and, like, I remember I had already, like, had that thing. Like, I wanted to be able to, like, be in a Blockbuster or a Walmart after hours. And it's just, like, Junie B. Jones, if she was like a fucking wastelander or like a survivor of something, like zombie apocalypse, like that would be amazing. She's a tough bitch, she could do it. That book series was so good. Oh yeah, here's my stats. So Elizabeth's really smart, she knows shit that's around her, she's not the weakest, but definitely her endurance and agility and luck make up for it. She's absolute ass with talking to people and getting people to like her. Yes. There we go.
You want something?
No. Forget. Okay. I'm back.
So, how's the scabbing been? Got the food medicine from... Really? You did? You did? Well, all right. Tell me all about it.
Then a card robot jumped out of a cake.
So you're saying that they acquired a well-protected stash? I wonder how many other places are hiding treasures behind monsters. Well, keep what you got. Just traded for a big food shipment myself. Here, take a bit, my treat. Tastes kinda great after a while. Oh, and take this. It's an old food sanitizer. Just carry it with you, and it should automatically make most food and drink more, better. I still need to study a living specimen with radiation poisoning. I need someone to research how to travel through a minefield. And that'll cover the first section of the book. Which strikes your fancy?
I guess radiation.
Well, that's what I need your help for, isn't it? I know lots about it from books, but I never seem to get a live example. Not for long, anyway. So I need you to get a bit of radiation poisoning, so I can study its effects. Oh, not a deadly dose, of course. I can fix you up before that. Oh, don't worry so much about it. I'll be here waiting with a nice tall glass of rad-cleansing Brahmin milk for you when you get back. Well, mostly just a whole lot of Rad-X and Rad-Away. And maybe even a more reliable way to get rid of radiation. Assuming it works, of course.
Does Rad-Away get you addicted still, or is that just Rad-X? Oh, it's Rad-X is preventative. Okay. Sure.
Oh, you're a peach. Or at least some sort of hardy fruit that grows in the savagely irradiated mockery of agriculture we have nowadays. Now, 200 rads should be enough for basic sickness. But if you can get 600 or more rads, my test will be even more accurate. Just make sure you can get back here, and I'll see to it that you're well taken care of.
Oh, God. Does it show me how close I am? Oh, okay. Is it worth it to get that much radiation? Let's just hang out in front of the atom bomb.
And behold the power of atoms. Let those who dwell here in his favored land attend now to the words of the prophet of atoms.
We just sit in this
Come forth and
murky,
drink the
radiated
waters
water
of the globe.
for a second.
For this ancient weapon of war is our salvation. It is the very symbol of Atom's glory. Let it serve as a reminder of the division that has occurred in the past,
You're no longer well
and the
rested.
resplendence of the promise of our
Your eye
division
starts fucking
in
twitching
the times to
from
come.
the radiation.
Give your bodies to Atom, my friends. Release yourself to his power. Feel his glow and be
We're almost at
divided.
200.
There shall be no tears, no sorrows, no suffering. For in the division, we shall see our peace from the pain and hardships of this world.
We'll get to 600
Your
from Moira.
suffering shall exist no longer. It
We
shall
like
be
Moira,
washed
so...
away in Adam's glow, burned from you in the fire of his brilliance. Each of us shall give
Better be
birth
fucking
to a
worth it.
billion
Probably not gonna
stars,
be.
formed from the mass of our wretched and filthy bodies. Each of us shall be mother and father to a trillion civilizations. Each of us shall know peace, shall know an end to pain, and shall know Atom in his glory. I urge you, my friends, come, drink with me and pray. Glorious Atom,
8:38.
I give. Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye shall be blind with his glory. Every ear shall be stricken deaf to hear the thunder of his voice. Let the men, women, and children of the earth come forth together.
Mother Maya's judging me.
Hello, sweet child. Hello, I don't believe we've
Oh
met.
no, she's not.
I'm Mother Maya, prophet of the atom and embracer of the universal light. Remember, sweet child, that as children of Atom, the fabric of the universe itself is ours to weave. So, welcome to Megaton, and peace be with you. For those answers, I shall...
Okay. Even she doesn't understand it. 418.
Let those who dwell here in his favored land attend now to the words of the prophet of Atom. Come forth and drink the waters of the glow, for this ancient weapon of war
I'm gonna play
is
another
our
video real quick.
salvation. It is the very symbol of Atom's glory. Let it
where is
serve
it?
as a reminder of the division that has occurred in the past, and the resplendence of the promise
I'll
of our
link it in a
division
second
in the
here,
times to come.
but
Give your bodies to Atom, my friend. Release yourself to his power. Feel his glow.
so I never heard
and
about the
be
baby reindeer
divided.
shit, and I need to know about
There
it.
shall be no tears, no
And
sorrows,
what better than
no
from Kidology
suffering.
herself?
For in the division, we shall see our release from the pain and hardships of this world. Yea, your suffering shall exist no longer. It shall be washed away in Atom's glow, burned from...
Alright, perfect. Let's just hobble back.
So many people, not just for women, but for men and other individuals as well. It was heartwarming to know that other people understood what I was going through, and it was also so revelatory to see what I had actually gone through when I watched through my video and actually realizing what had happened to me. It has been a very stressful time, I must admit, and I don't think I realized how serious some of what was happening to me actually was. I don't think I realized how serious potentially going on holiday could have been, and I really thank all of you for your comments and for your messages of kindness and concern. I really appreciate it so much. I also do want to apologize for being so, I guess, I think in this
That's
video, just
secure
editing
for
it
a
right
reason.
now, I come across as quite stiff,
Okay.
I think, and I do apologize for that. I've just been quite stressed over the past few days, and I'm sure that will become clear when you actually watch the video and what has
Can I
happened
wait
the past
an
few
hour?
days. So,
Or will I
yes,
die?
do apologize for that. I am okay, and I do thank you so very much for your understanding. And now, let's get into the video. Before we start this video, I just need to make one thing very, very clear. The last time I was ever in contact with Lachlan was on May 31st when I sent him an email, which for me was basically putting my foot down for the first time ever. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about,
Okay.
the Lachlan, please watch this video. This video will give you all the context and the information.
Okay, fine.
This video is very kindly sponsored by
We'll watch
Vanessa, who
that one
we are
first.
doing a massive giveaway
And I'll put it in
so stay
order.
tuned for more. You know, before this moment in my personal history, I was very
got
big on the benefits
Oh.
and the advantages of platonic relationships with men. That is
Try to just read it as I can without burning a hole in the floor.
way to bridge divisions.
I can
to
tell.
dispel
Now, just
miscommunication,
hold on
to
and try
establish
not to move.
stability with the
Tell me how it
aliens. It's to
feels,
bring
and
them
I'll get you
into our
fixed right
personal
up.
lives. It's to form a personal investment with them. It's to realize that the
I can
aliens
hear my
are so
jeans
different from
crying.
us females. Remember eating
Too tired to be snide.
You're a lucky one, you know.
At this level, most people don't make it. But then again, most people don't have my experimental tricks. Now, after taking a few notes, I'll take care of that nasty radiation with a bit of my own homemade concoction. I've never had the chance to test it out on someone so heavily dosed. Oh, but I'm sure it'll work out fine. Exciting, isn't it? Okay, a little ramen milk, a couple magnets, and maybe a few Well, you're alive! Oh, that's the good news. But there was a little side effect. A teeny tiny mutation. But it seems to be benign, at least. Here, take a few radiation chems as my little way of saying, I'm sorry I twisted your DNA like a kitten with a ball of yarn.
Where there was a creep in my comments who was making extremely uncomfortable comments about me, to which I responded by blocking him. And my friend came to that man's defense by saying, oh, but he was just saying what we think on the inside. Which, by the way, if you don't know the difference between thinking something and saying something, it's called self-control, being aware of your filters. And I was like, that's a huge red flag because one, I am your friend and he is a stranger, and the fact that you empathize with a stranger over me is telling.
I have lost 100% of the guy friends who have said they liked me. Seriously, not a single guy friend that I've had in all my years that has confessed
Had an
to me,
unexpected side
I'm
effect.
still friends with. Some guys think, oh yeah, like girls, they know. Yeah, we know.
Now when you
Like,
suffer
we're not
advanced
gonna say
radiation
anything
poisoning,
because
crippled
it's
limbs
not
automatically
our
regenerate.
secrets out in the open, that friendship is over. And it, like, if you
Landmines
tell
are
me
one of
that
the
you like
few
me and I don't
dangers
like
out
that,
there
then
that
it's
you can
selfish
profit
and
from.
considerate for me to just
Disarm one before it blows, and you can sell it for plenty of caps. I've heard stories about a ghost town that's just full of mines. Traders just call the place Minefield.
and it's always very sad.
Sounds like the place for some field work. Get in there, get back, and tell me all about it. And could you bring back a mine for my studies?
Period where they either ignore me or they ghost me, or in some cases they start getting really mean. Then we just don't really talk anymore, and you just kind of become very cordial with each other. No, I think this is just like something that happens to girls that people don't really talk about.
So, considering the wizard Liz has decided to misuse YouTube's copyright system and copyright claim my latest video,
What the fuck? She won the dispute.
I've decided
Okay.
to do a personal one because I do not have the mental strength nor the amount of savings to deal with such nonsense anymore. Yeah, I really do miss these videos. These videos of just a story time, just talking to you about my life and something that has
What
happened
better reward for avoiding explosives than to pay you with it? And if you bring me back something to study, maybe I can make some modifications for you. Nothing like tinkering with a live mo- Oh, don't worry. No one ever goes there because they say it's a ghost town. And since I hear there's a playground in the middle of town, reach that point and come back, and I'm sure you'll have some stories to tell.
Vanessa is a bi-woman company with an emphasis on empowering everybody and everyone
Have fun out there, okay?
and celebrate their
Where's
sexual
my
identity.
landmine?
My first sextoy I ever got myself.
Actually, Mercenary does not like me.
Just hearing through the grapevine that the quality assurance of Vanessa's toys is just unmatched by anyone. And the attention to detail of their products for all genders, for singles and for couples is honestly incredible. Now there is a whole catalogue, a variety of Vanessa toys on offer for you to choose from and to tickle your fancy. But my personal all-time favorite has got to be the Air Vibe, especially with its dual stimulation. Its flexibility means that it is suited for all body types and that it will be perfect
That's a ways away.
for you and for what you may want. The suction feature, at least personally, I think is perfect for anybody who struggles to reach them, or if you really need that kind of stimulation that you
Seriously?
can't really find, I would argue, with anything other than this little guy. There's a number of different intensities.
Why can my computer not run this fucking game?
Intensities that you can choose from, actually. Setting number 1 does it for me personally, but if you are a Ferrari down there, then there are a plethora of settings that I'm sure you can conquer. And there's absolutely no denying just how elegant and
Oh, this happened last time.
the design of this toy, especially the design of its case. I think its case, which is also rechargeable, is just as lovely. And as I said, this case is not only discreet, it is also rechargeable. Its material
And I'm gonna have to restart my computer, I guess. This happened last time when I was streaming on Fansly.